Welcome to College Thursday. Welcome to our Instagram Live. Today's live is very, very cool. And we are so excited to be sharing with you the topic in a few seconds. Let's see if everybody else joins. Let me say hello to some people who are joining. Tony, Ulysses, Rosa, Olar, Wentworth. Wentworth is one of our partners. San, Many. Hello everyone. Welcome to our Instagram Live. Tural, Tiago, Safi. Tural is talking from Azerbaijan. How cool is that? That's awesome. Gisele. Awesome. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Well, welcome everyone. Today is College Thursday, and my name is Luciana. I am the Academic and Career Advisor at Approach. And for today's Instagram Live, we have a special guest. Yes, if you were in our Instagram Live last week, you know that I will be interviewing one of our former students. Her name is Priscilla de Paula, and Priscilla got a research assistant position at an American university here in the Massachusetts area. How cool is that? So today we will be talking to Priscilla, and she will tell you all the steps that she took to apply and get that research assistant position. And hopefully, if you are an international student at Approach, or if you're watching us from abroad and you dream about attending a college or university here in the US, this Instagram Live is for you. And we hope it inspires you and it opens your mind to the possibilities that there are out there. Are you guys ready? I am so excited to be talking to Priscilla. And I do want to say hello to Yukari, Tiago, Tony, talking from the US. Tiago, Gislaine. Awesome. Okay, so let me see if Priscilla is here. Before I call Priscilla, I do want to remind you that this is your last chance to send this Instagram Live to one of your friends, because remember, this Instagram Live specifically, if you already have a bachelor's degree from your home country and you are looking to apply for grad school, for a master's degree, but you don't have the money, there are work study opportunities out there. And today we will be talking about research assistant positions in American colleges and universities. All right, are you guys ready? Yes? Let's see if Pri is here. Let me see, she's here. Okay, go live with Priscilla. Hey Pri, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be talking to you today. We've had so many students that mentioned about you and about your story and how inspired they were by you. And I think it's going to be super inspiring to hear from you, from your story.
Hope so.
Well, so Pri, as a little bit of introduction of you, can you tell us a little bit about, about you, where you're from?
Okay. So I'm Priscilla, as you guys know. I'm from Brazil, Minas Gerais. And I've been living here like for 3 years now. I came in 2017. Just when I got my bachelor's degree over there. I came to US to learn English.
I see. But did you know English when you, like before arriving in the US? How was that?
Just hi and bye, you know? Just a little bit.
Wow. No, wait. So in 3 years, you did this whole process of learning the full language.
Exactly. And
wow.
I'm still learning, you guys. And I want to apologize if I do some mistakes here, some grammar mistakes and pronunciation, because for sure it's gonna happen. But I'm still in process. I'm learning.
I mean, I think we all are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I was an international student myself 10 years ago, and I was actually a student at Approach as well. And I learned English and I transitioned to college, and I'm still learning English too. I still make mistakes. So I think it's cool to share that with other people too, because you know, a lot of times students think that their English needs to be perfect to transfer to a college or university, but it's not actually always the case, right? We're always in the process of learning.
Exactly.
And Priscilla, when you first decided to come to the US, what exactly brought you here? What was your main goal?
So when I came, and as I said, I had just got my bachelor's degree, and I tried to get a good job over there, but I couldn't. I almost got one, but in the end, they said, "Oh, Priscilla, you know, you don't speak English, so we're gonna choose another person."
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I got so upset on that day. And then I decided, oh, you know, I'm gonna go to the US to learn some English and spend a little time over there to get some experience abroad, you know, because I know that it's important. So that's why I decided to come. But on the beginning, I thought like, oh, I'm gonna learn English in 6 months, but it didn't happen.
I
think
know.
everybody does that.
And you know, it's so interesting that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of times when we live abroad and when we're not here yet, we think that I'm just gonna go and do an exchange program and I'm gonna learn English so fast, and that's not the reality, right?
Exactly.
I think
not at all.
No, it takes time to learn a language, because I mean, when you come here, you realize, and I don't know if it was for you, but to me it was a lot, that you're not only learning a language, but you're learning about a new culture, the American culture, and cultures of all over the world, right?
Yes. Exactly.
So learning English in 6 months didn't
yes
didn't quite work out.
Didn't have at all. But I decided to come to study English, and that was my main goal on that time, just to learn English and go back to Brazil after a while, after 6 months. But I'm living here for 3 years now.
I see. That's the story.
Yeah, that's the story.
And when you said that before you came here, you had just graduated from college. What was your major?
Yes, I graduated in electrical engineering.
Electrical engineering.
Yes, exactly. And yes, I graduated in June of 2017, and I came in July of 2017.
Oh, wow. So it was a quick transition.
Exactly, very quick. But yeah, I have my degree from UFOP. It's, how can I say that, Federal University of over there. And that's it. So I have my bachelor's in electrical engineering, and now I'm doing a computer engineering program.
I see.
I changed a little bit.
And what made you change, like, a little bit?
To be honest, I was thinking about keep going in electrical field, but I met this professor who gave me an opportunity in computer. And then we start to talking about it, and I start to like it, the idea of going to computer, and I decided to change.
I see. Very interesting. Very interesting. And also important to mention, because sometimes people don't know that it's possible to change kind of like the field that you're in, right? Even though you had a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, it was possible to do this transition. So yeah. But before we get into more details on that, I'm curious to hear, you said that your goal was to come here, learn English, and then go back to Brazil. What changed? What made you think about going to a college?
Okay, So, as I said before, I didn't learn English with 6 months. So I decided to extend my time here. And then when I got like in a better level of English, I saw that going to Brazil with English would be enough on that time anymore, because everybody can speak English nowadays. So I start to think I need to get something else, not only English. I need to have, I don't know, a degree or something like that in my CV to get a good position in Brazil. So that's why I start to think about going to a college here.
I
to a
see.
grad
I see.
school.
So that's kind of like how the idea of this transition started.
Yeah. Nowadays, like speaking English is not enough anymore. It's not like a big difference in Brazil. So you need something else to
Yeah.
be better, you know.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And
Yeah,
also, you know, if you learn English already, why not take the next step, right?
exactly.
So cool. So cool. Um, well, now getting more into the topic of today, that is regarding your research assistant position. I'm curious to hear how did you start thinking about that possibility of, instead of just applying to a college and getting accepted, doing this process of trying to find a research assistant position? How was this? What made you curious, or what made you research about that?
So I start to think about going to a grad school, and then I start to see the price for that. And I realize I don't have money for that. It's too much. It's too much for me. So I decided to search about how can I get a degree here for free or for less money, for example. And then I start to look for this. And I have a friend who studies here. She's a PhD student, and she has a research assistant.
I see.
So I started to ask her how she got this, how was the process, and how was the benefit of being a research assistant. So she helped me a lot to understand what is the research assistant. And then I started to look for this position here in Massachusetts.
And it's so interesting, because, you know, a lot of times we can read all we want on the internet about how to get one and everything, you know, but it was so interesting that you had an example so close to you that you could talk to and get inspired, right?
Exactly.
And what I think it's so interesting too, Pri, is that our students at Approach, you know, we talked actually last week. I was doing an Instagram live about this, and it's so, I know that was awesome. I saw you there, and what's so incredibly inspiring is to see that you, as a student at Approach, was able to do this, you know. So I do want to just emphasize for those of you who are watching that Pri studied at Approach, international student. She was able to do it. So, you know, it's so inspiring to see that if she did it, you can do it too, you know?
It's very possible. It's very, very possible.
So I think
Seems
now,
impossible, but it's not.
I know, and that's what I was saying last week, you know, that it's 100% like sure that you're not gonna get it if you don't try it, right?
Exactly.
But it's a 50-50 if you try it and see how it goes, right?
Yes, you're right.
So Pri, now I'm thinking about, did you follow any steps? How was that beginning of the process, or search, you know? And if you're watching us, grab pen and paper now.
Exactly. So to start, I decided to write an email that I would send to the professors that I found. So that was my first step. because it took me a while to write this email, because you have to say good things about you, but you cannot be so long. You have to
I
be
see.
so specifically. And I was like scared on how to use my English in this email.
Yeah.
So I asked for some help. You helped me on this email, and some teachers at Approach helped me as well. And that was my first step. I think after 2 or 3 weeks, I had my email done. Like, and I couldn't change anything else. And then my second step was to look.
Before we go to step number 2,
Okay.
You mentioned that writing the email itself was hard.
Yes.
Right? If like for people who are watching us now and they're thinking about writing that email, do you remember like some of the things that you wrote in that email that it would be helpful?
I have my email here. I'm gonna try to show.
Oh, that's awesome.
So let me try. It's not that long, as I said. It starts here and it ends here. And first of all, I just presented myself. I said where I'm from, what I studied in Brazil. And then I start to say about what I have done through my time in college, like volunteers, projects that I have done there, undergrad research that I have done there. And then I start to talk about my internship that I did over there, and my thesis.
The internship was while you were in Brazil?
Yeah, in Brazil, exactly. My internship as an electrical engineering student. And I talk about my thesis, what I did. And then I talk about what I was doing on the time of I wrote this email. Like I moved to Boston to improve my English. And then I start to talk about possibilities to work with this professor. And then I said my area of interest. And that's it. And I also attached my resume. And that's it. That was my email. I'm not going to read everything because I'm saying specific things about electrical engineering. So it's not necessary, but you have to say about yourself and what you have done in college during your bachelor's degree time. And if you have an internship, say about it, and say about your thesis and what you are doing now, and what you want to do, like with this professor.
So you presented about yourself, you introduced yourself, and then you talked about the experiences that you had and your academic background, volunteer opportunities that you did that there. You talk about your thesis, the internship and research opportunities that you had back home.
Exactly.
First. And then you went on to saying
the last paragraph is saying about what you want to do here in the US, like with this professor, why you are interested in working with them in their research area, for example. So you have to say about it. It means that you have to learn about the professor first.
Very, very, very important tip. Very important tip.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys, like, this is my professor.
And how did you find this professor?
Yeah, I'm gonna
talk in the step number 2.
Yeah. When you know what you're gonna do, for example, I was looking for a Master of Science in Computer Engineering. So I looked in the Google in Massachusetts because I was looking around here first. And then I found UMass. And this is the general website, the main page of the UMass website. And then I just put here like Master of Science in Computer Engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna search. Then it's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And here you're gonna learn about the program. What is the Master of Science in Computer Engineering? And if you go further, you're gonna see here the
And I see
faculty. You see?
uh-huh.
You're gonna see all professors of this field.
So write down the word faculty, because it's an
Exactly.
important word, faculty. These are the professors who are working, teaching in that specific program.
Exactly.
Faculty.
So you have to find this word on the website of the university that you are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna find all professors who works there. And then here is my professor.
Mm-hmm.
So I click on him over there and I'm gonna see like his research area.
Mm-hmm.
See? So he works with reliability engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start to read about him a little bit. I saw that he has like an external link and I went there.
Mm-hmm.
And I start to see like his projects,
I see.
what he has done. And then I'm gonna go back just, here is where you're gonna find the email address and the telephone number. So after looking for like his research area, I sent that email to him.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
I see. Yeah.
Exactly. And then he replied me like this.
And how long did it take for him to reply to your email?
Let me see. I don't remember. I think it was fast, but I sent him like in October 11 of 2019, 11:50 a.m. He replied on the same day, but it was on 7:46 p.m.
So you see, that's what I think it's so interesting, because sometimes people think, I'm not going to email, they're never going to reply to me. And you send the email to him and he actually replied in the same day, right?
Exactly, the same day. But a lot of professors won't reply at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
some of them will take a while to reply.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's saying no, sometimes it's a politely way to say no.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's gonna be fast. Like in my case was fast on the same day.
So you have
He
to,
replied.
the reality is that you have to, I would say that the key is to try to find those professors that have an area of research that you're interested in, and then try to email as many as you can, right?
Exactly. That's the point. You have to email as many as you can. And
Mm-hmm.
I was showing you guys like my professor, but I'm gonna show how much emails I sent. Look at this.
Mm-hmm. See, it's so interesting that you're bringing this up, Pri, because
Yeah,
you know it's
I
it's
send a lot of emails.
it's not an easy process, I would say, or like, it's not like very quick. You had steps and you sent, look at how many emails Pri had to send,
Yeah, a lot. I send
you
a
know
lot of emails. So
and
you have to search for a professor, but you cannot just email everyone. Like you have to see the research area, like if you are interested in this area and if this professor can be interesting in hiring you.
yeah.
So the interest of research has to match.
Absolutely. So did you have to change a little bit the email to each professor that you were sending?
I sent some things in the end,
In
like
that part, in that part
yes,
that you were
saying
saying about the
about the
research?
interest. Yes, exactly. But I didn't change a lot, just one
Mm-hmm.
word or two. And for sure, remember to change the name of the professor in the beginning.
Right. Very important.
It's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the base of the email was the same because you're sharing information about yourself, but like that paragraph that you wrote about the professor and the research that the professor was developing, I imagine that you had to do a little bit of research on
Yes,
the professor, right?
it's good if you can change a little bit for each professor so you can
Mm-hmm.
show them that you know about them, that you
Mm-hmm.
did a research about his area of interest.
Right, because it's
So it's a
important.
good.
You're showing that you're not just sending a general email to everyone. You took the time to like do your research and see if that actually interests you,
Exactly.
right?
It's important to do that. And that's it. So the first step is to write an email.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is to search for universities and professors.
Mm-hmm.
So I said first and second step, right?
And I also, within this second step, I would say that in the searching for universities too, it's important for you to consider, like, I don't know, Pri, if you were sending anywhere in the US or if you wanted to stay in Massachusetts in particular. Did you have a preference?
I just sent in Massachusetts first because I was here already,
Mm-hmm.
but I was uh, I was willing to move to
Right,
another state.
right.
So it's another tip. If you look for a university like in small cities, you have more
Mm.
chance.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you have more chance because nobody wants to go to small cities, for example.
Right. 'Cause everybody wants to go downtown Boston,
Exactly.
but
So look for
very
small
interesting.
cities. Look for small cities. It's a good tip. You have a better chance over there.
Yeah, very cool, very cool,
Hmm?
very interesting. So you mentioned about step one and step two that you did this whole process. So th this was the process of finding, right?
Hmm.
And now after you received the email from this professor or from other professors, what did you do after? What was the next step after that?
So, my professor, he asked me for my transcript
Mm-hmm.
from my university in Brazil, and he asked me for a time because you could meet. He wants to do a interview in person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I got so nervous of this time,
Oh my God,
especially
I can
because of
imagine.
my English. I was
Mm-hmm.
like so scared, like, oh, he's not gonna understand me. He won't gonna like me because of my English. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, there's definitely in this process, there are so many things that come to our minds that if you're not focused, it can even like stop you from going to the next step, right? So it's so cool that you were so brave to like, okay, let's take a deep breath
Exactly,
and prepare for this, right?
exactly. So the third step is that professors are going to ask for an interview.
Let me ask you something. Were you accepted to universities by then or not yet?
What do you mean?
Like in this step of that, like the professor called you for an interview,
Uh-huh.
but have you uh have you had applied to UMass
Oh no,
already or no?
no,
So
before.
so you weren't
Before
a
applying.
student, you weren't accepted, you're
No,
just
nothing.
talking.
Nothing. We are just
Very interesting.
exactly. So I went there to meet him and we had a conversation like about my background, about personal things. Like he asked me about my family, about my plans for my future. And then he started to talk about his research area. And he asked me see if I would be interested in this area, because it was computer engineering. So I would change my field. And then I started to think about it. And also I started to see about the process for apply for the university. Because it's not just having a assistantship. You need to apply for the university. And you need to go through all the steps. Like you need to translate your transcript. You need to take the TOEFL. You need to take a GRE. And all the steps. So I started to look for that.
And this was after the interview.
Yeah, the first interview. Exactly.
So you had your interview with him, and then he told you that you would have to go through the process of applying.
Exactly.
I see.
And on that time he said, if you are interested in this area, we can keep in touch. And I'm gonna send you some things to study to see if you're gonna like it, and let me know. That's it. And then
when was the interview?
In October of the last year.
I see. Okay.
See, yeah, like almost a year ago. So I came home and I started to read the papers that he gave me, and I started to read the book that he gave me. And he asked me to go to attend some classes like a guest, just to see if I would adapt for this class.
I see. So you still had the opportunity to be in a classroom without being formally accepted as a student.
Exactly.
Very cool.
So I attend some classes as a guest, and I start to study. Definitely, I start to study for this major. And I start to study for the TOEFL, because I would need anyways. So I changed my program, the approach. I changed for TOEFL class, and I started to study. And in November, I took the TOEFL, and I got the score that I needed to go through the process.
Wow, very quick.
It was very quick, like in 1 month. Yeah, 1 month I got the TOEFL, and I got the score in the first time, thank God.
What was the score? Do you remember?
I need, for UMass, I need 80. They asked 80. Yeah.
That's good to know. This is out of 120. Right?
Yes, 120 is the maximum. And I don't know, this score, it depends on the universities.
Right, it changes.
University, it changes. For UMass, for computer engineering program, you need 80. So I got what I needed, and I sent to this professor. And then he started to like me, like, oh, I see that you are studying, you did the TOEFL, you are doing what I'm saying you to do. You are coming to the class as a guest. So he said me, start to apply, and I'm gonna help you.
I think I had a quick question. You said that you were attending classes as a guest.
Yeah.
Probably people are wondering, did you have to pay to attend the classes as a guest?
No, I didn't pay at all. Nothing.
That's so cool. So cool. Yeah, because he invited you.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool.
And then I applied for the university. I sent my TOEFL score, I sent my transcripts, and he helped me. I mean, if I didn't have him, maybe this process could be more harder because of my transcript, because of my TOEFL score. But I had him to help me. So he just sent to the admissions of the university, I want Priscilla in my team, so please accept her. And then the university accepted me.
And you see, that's what's so interesting, Priscilla. because a lot of times students think that they first need to go through the process of applying to the college. And in reality, what you did was you took a different route, and you first started with the professor, and that ended up helping you to be accepted to the university, right?
Exactly.
Guys, this is a tip that it's worth gold.
Yeah, I think it's easier if you wanna study like with a free tuition. It's easier if you find a professor first, because he's gonna help you in your process.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And he's there already. He's working. He knows about the system of the university, right?
Yeah, and he knows everybody. So.
Right, which is very positive for you
Exactly.
as an applicant.
Exactly. So it's better if you find a professor first. And that's it. You have to show them that you want to work, that you are willing to study what they ask you to study, and then they're going to like you. That's the process. That's the process.
Because it's not only, you can't just apply and see how things go. You showed that you were interested in the position. He shared material with you to study, and you did the work. You went to the classes that he suggested as a guest student. So you were constantly working towards that, right?
Exactly.
And then he saw that you really were interested, and probably it matched to what the type of student that he was looking for to have in his project.
Yes, exactly. And that was it. So it took a while. Like I said, I started talking to him in October of last year, and I'm just starting my program now, this week, actually. So almost a whole year of the process.
Yeah, and preparing and applying and all.
Applying, exactly. And knowing the professor, showing you're interesting. So it takes a while, but...
When did you receive the acceptance letter from the university?
In June.
So in June. And when did you apply?
I applied in January.
So you applied in January and you received the answer in June.
In June, exactly.
And in this acceptance letter, did they tell you that you were getting a research assistant position?
Not in this acceptance letter, but like after some days, few days, they sent me the contract of the research assistant. And then I signed it, and they sent me more documents, like for a hiring process. Because they are hiring me as a researcher there. Then I can see now, like on my student account on the website, I can see like that I have a tuition waiver plus, and I have a hiring process, like a paperwork.
I see.
So
I
they
see.
have to pay me for my work. Yeah.
Wait. So does that mean that you don't pay for studying there at all?
I don't pay at all.
Wow.
I don't pay for tuition.
That's so exciting.
The only thing that I have to pay is the health insurance.
Which is required.
Yeah, it's required, but I don't pay for tuition, and I have a salary. They paid me for my job.
Wow. Oh, I guess goosebumps, because Priscilla, I'm just so excited, and it's so amazing to hear stories like this, because you guys, you're watching here. Look at the process that Priscilla did, and how amazing. She is not paying for anything, and she's getting a salary.
Yes,
that's amazing. That's amazing. I can't tell you how proud we are of you and how inspiring your story is. That's so incredible. That's so incredible.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. Thank you.
And you said, so now that you said that you just started studying, right?
Yeah, the class started this week, but I just started the class with another professors. So it's the requirement for my major, right? But I'm studying and learn new things since I started to talk with my professor since last October. So I never stopped. Since there, I'm studying. I have things to learn. I have things to do. for my research, for my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent the whole summer just studying. Like I hadn't class, but I was studying with my professor to start my major, my
I
program.
see, I see. And then, so now that you're, how many classes are you taking?
I'm taking 3 classes.
So you're,
So as an international student, we have to take 9 credits per semester. It's a rule.
mm-hmm.
So each class has 3 credits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking 3 classes right now.
I see, I see.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so besides your classes as a student, now as a research assistant, how's your, do you have a work schedule? How do you, like, how's that? You know, kind of like juggling being a research assistant and a student.
And
How is that?
it's kind of hard, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Before this week, I was just doing my research, so I have all my time just for my research and my professor.
Mm-hmm.
But now this week, I have 3 more professors, 3 more classes to attend and to study for. So I have to manage my time. It's not that easy. And for research, I have to do 20 hours per week for my research. So I have to manage my time because I have 3 classes. Each class is like 3 hours per week. So I have 9 hours per week of class plus 20 hours of research.
Plus the hours that you need for your homework.
Exactly. So it's kind of a full-time job with extra.
Yeah, and it, you know, because sometimes students, when I say that you're gonna be taking classes for like average 9 hours per week, they're like, that's great. That's less hours than I studied at Approach. But then the amount of homework and things that you have to do, right?
Yesterday I was doing my schedule for the week. I'm gonna share with you guys.
Wow, so organized. I love it.
You see, I try to live Sunday as a day off. But I have to wake up 8 in the morning, start to do research, and I usually do research in the mornings, and I have class like in the evenings. And the red ones and the pink ones and green ones is like meetings that I have to attend every week with my professor and my team, because we are a team of research for my professor. You know,
I see.
He has 6 research students.
Oh, that's very interesting. Are they all international students?
Actually, 5 of them are international students. Only one is American. The other 5, everybody is international students.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
so interesting.
That inspired me as well because, as I told you, I was afraid of my English, of meeting him, and he's not gonna like my English. He's not gonna like me because of that. And then I went to his lab and I met his other students. And everybody is international students, so he accepts like international students. He likes that. I think that international students are more dedicated for PhD and master programs more than Americans. That's why you can find a lot of international students in grad schools.
So interesting, because to say that too, because you know, I think being an international student is a big advantage. Sometimes maybe we might think that there are less opportunities, but universities are looking for international students because not only usually international students are hard workers, but also I think it's also so interesting to the background that the international student adds, like that cultural value that the international student adds to like the research or to the class, you know.
Exactly. And also because I don't know if everybody knows that, but international students pay more for studying here in American universities. They pay like a double of Americans. So universities, of course, they like international students because
Oh
they're
yeah,
gonna earn
money,
more money. Yeah.
money.
And even if I'm not paying because I have a scholarship, I'm not paying my tuition, but someone is paying for me.
Yeah, exactly.
A company is paying for my study. So they are receiving the money as well, like
Yeah,
even though I'm not paying. So they like international students. Yeah.
yeah, that's such a great point and very interesting, you know, because it's kind of, I think it's a perspective that as international students we don't hear as often, you know,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
and you can see that being there, you know,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
behind.
That's
um,
the point.
I had a question when I saw your schedule that you mentioned that I usually do the research in the morning. Do you have a fixed schedule? Like your professor wants you to do research that time, or can you manage?
I can manage. I mean, right now in this semester, because of the COVID-19, I'm working from home, so I don't have to go to the university. So I can do my own schedule. I prefer to do in the morning. But when I have to go to the university, I have to show my hours, like what I'm going to do this week, what my time, what time I'm gonna be here. So I
I
have to
see.
prove that I'm there in the lab for 20 hours per week. But I can manage my time. I just have to show that I will be there like 20 hours per week. But
Yeah.
I can go in the morning, I can go in the afternoon or at night. It's up to me. And the
I
lab
see.
is like 24 hours per week.
The lab is open 24 hours?
24 hours a day, yeah.
Oh,
7 days a week.
wow.
Yeah.
So if you're a person, if you're a night owl, you,
Exactly.
you like working, you know, wow, that's interesting. That's so
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
I do.
nice because some in the morning and afternoon the lab is gonna be full of people for sure.
Yeah.
So some people wants to work alone, so they prefer to go at night. Or
Yeah. Yeah. It
it's
makes
really up
sense.
to you. Yeah.
It makes sense. I do want to say, I know that we had a lot of comments here and I wasn't able to keep track of all the comments.
And me
Uh,
neither.
we're gonna probably be here for a few more minutes. If you guys have a question specifically for Priscilla, you know that down below there is a little question mark. It would be much easier for us to read the question from there. So just go in that little question mark and type your question there, okay? And then we're gonna be able to see it. Otherwise, I felt I'm lost in the comments.
It's true. Me too.
So cool. Wow. It's just crazy to see, Priscilla, how, in 3 years, so many things happened in your life, that you went from graduating in 1 month and then next month being in a new country and learning a new language. I'm going to be here for 6 months, learn English and go back home. And then you're like, maybe not.
Maybe not. Exactly.
Maybe
And
staying
now
here
I
for a
don't
little
know if
longer.
I'm gonna go back because my professor is already talking to me about the PhD. He wants me to keep going, like finish my master's and keep going through the PhD program. So I have at least 6 years here, I think.
Yeah, because, I think once you get into the research field, especially while you're doing your master's, it makes sense to just extend and just keep going, right?
Exactly. And
Wow.
also, it's like getting a degree, a grad degree here, it's a very good opportunity to grow, not just in Brazil, like I said, that I wanted to go back to Brazil with a degree from here because my chances to get a good job over there is going to be awesome with a degree from here. But I'm going to get a permit to work here in my field.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's
That's
wonderful.
so wonderful. And especially because of this, you're going to be able to work in your field of study.
Exactly.
Wow, that's
dream.
amazing. It's a dream come true, yeah. And dreams are to achieve dreams, it takes also hard work. Again, as you were saying, right, Priscilla, it didn't come just like very quick and easy formula.
No, yeah, you have to go for it. You know, you have to look for it, and you have to keep believing in yourself. You're gonna receive a lot of no's in your email, but you have to keep going, try to get in one. Yes, try to get in one interview, and that's it. Do your best.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, if it's wonderful to hear how you did it, and I'm sure that it's very inspiring. It's inspiring to me too. I know that a lot of my colleagues at Approach that work there, they were also international students, and it's very inspiring to see students like you know, moving forward, like going for your goals. And
Yeah.
I think like that's what makes us so passionate about what we do, to see that like students like you, they take the next step, you know. So we're so proud of you, and I'm sure that our students here, I see that so many congratulations already, and people that are Priscilla fans.
I made a lot of friends at Approach.
I mean, friends and fans too.
No, I don't know about fans, but friends, I know I made a lot.
That's wonderful. Well, so now that we're almost at the end here, we only have a few more minutes before Instagram, you know, closes our Instagram live.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to mention that we're gonna save this Instagram live on our IGTV. So if you have any friends that you think that, you know, might benefit and feel inspired by watching Priscilla's story, we're also gonna try to upload it on YouTube. If you want to share this along, we're gonna try to be doing this, you know, over the next few weeks. And before we end, Priscilla, I would like to ask you if you have any words of encouragement for those international students who, like, they dream about attending a college in the US, but maybe they might be thinking that it's impossible, you know, even like to get to where you did. So what would you tell these people who also dream about that?
Okay. So first of all, believe in yourself. You can do whatever you want. And second, take the first step, because when you start, you will keep going. And that's it. Don't give up, and believe in yourself.
Yeah. Wow. So cool. So cool. Wow.
And if you guys have any questions, you can email me. I can leave my email address here.
Oh, you're so kind. And I do want to mention that if you are a student at Approach and you're starting this process and you need help, Approach provides college advising for free to all Approach students. So feel free to reach out to me. I'll be super happy to walk you through the steps of what Priscilla shared too here. And it's wonderful that you shared your email too. Thank you so much, Priscilla.
You're welcome.
I'm sure that this
for the TOEFL.
Yeah, if you're applying for colleges outside of the partners, yeah, for sure.
Take class at Approach with John. He's a very, very good teacher. I learned a lot.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
he really is. Wow, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I feel so inspired by you and touched by your story, and I hope your story can touch other international students' heart and see that, you know, and see that they can do it too.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I know.
Thank you for having me, Lou. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks everyone who watched.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll see you all next Thursday. Bye, Pri.
Bye.